Hey guys, WudWud here today with a deeper analysis of the Monster Hunter Wilds trailer we just got and other information circling the wider net. So let's get right into it. Now, before we start looking at the trailer, let's notice that Capcom have changed their logo to something new, shiny and gold, which we'll talk about later in this video. But firstly, coming into the video, we see the kid Nata. He's been in many trailers so far, and here we learn a lot more about his backstory. It seems the monster destroyed and terrorized his people. At first glance, may resemble WudWud, but later on we find out it's a new beast entirely. We gotta give it to him though. If only we had the skill to easily forget terrifying things in our lives, the world would be so much easier. Next, we see a new encampment with an in-game cutscene. This area seems to be the Scarlet Forest, so it's possible that every map we have will have its own encampment base to return to. That's super exciting. It would be cool if you could upgrade your camp as you go throughout the game. We also see two new characters here, and on the website they're named Eric and Werner. Quick side note, both of these names actually have genomic origins, which is just a cool fact to know. Going to the website, we have more description on the two. So Eric, an Astrom's unit handler, an adroit biologist renowned throughout the academia, and Werner, the unit smithy, a physicist and engineering specialist, and a leading mind in weapons technology. The more we see of this game, it's clear Capcom are focusing on character interactions and deeper developments. I've been playing through Iceborne recently, and every character feels so wooden. It's more about objectives rather than the people living their lives with objectives in it. In Rise, we had characters that felt real, but we just didn't have enough time to really flesh them out. But here, things feel a bit more real, and the characters feel much more alive and with purpose outside of just being a prop for the story, which is nice to see. We also have a couple new views of the Scarlet Forest. You can see how heavy the rain gets in this area, showing how the Enclemecy phase will look in this land. They also mentioned the water raising due to this. But this isn't just a throwaway line, we can visibly see the water raising in game. What does this mean for us hunters? I'm not really sure. There isn't underwater combat in this game, so it's difficult to say how does it impact the gameplay overall. But next scene, we see a horrifying new monster, Uth Duna, who is pointed out to be in the apex of this region on the website. Our second Leviathan for the game, and I love to see it. The face resembles an anglerfish, or maybe a terrorist. It has jagged teeth and deep eyes, which is the reason why it makes me think like this. Its body's color and form really reminds me of a jellyfish in some sort of way as well. Nevertheless, we can see the destructive power this monster has when it comes to water. It's incredible. Fighting this one may be a problem with all the waves in our way. On the website, it reads the description: this is its territory and we're intruders. A Leviathan that rules the Scarlet Forest as its apex predator. It has adapted to water-rich environments and is sighted most often during the downpour. It makes use of the moisture and its own body fluids to create protective veil around itself. Man, monsters like this makes me wish we had underwater combat in this game. But that's a video for another time. We also have this post from Twitter, which will be in the description of this video. Due to how active this monster seems to be in water, I imagine it's going to come out mostly in the Enclemecy phases. And added to that, the website said it's mostly sighted during downpours, so I think that kind of confirms that theory. WudWud also comes out during that period, then he retreats to his nest. We could have a similar thing here and going forward for each apex of each zone. But the way it swims slightly outside of range reminds me of Plesioth in games that don't have underwater combat. Next, we see the Scarlet Forest in the Plenty phase, and wow, what an amazing sight it is. The lighting has been done incredible here. It makes me wonder if there's ray tracing technology built into this game. But on that note, we'll talk about specs later on in the video. We then see a new endemic life, which kind of looks like some type of bird wyvern thingy. Then leading into fishing, which seems to have more of a cinematic feeling, which is super cool. I don't do fishing much myself, and it's not something that you actually really need to do in the games, but I'm going to try it out at least, as it seems to be pretty cool. On the website we can see here, it says use different types of lure to reel in various species of fish. You can even try your hands at some big game fishing. So I'm wondering if there will be a fishing feature where different fishes have different sizes, similar to other games. One game in particular I'm thinking of comes to Twilight Princess. I mean, the fishing in that game was awesome. But back to the video, we can see them climbing similar to Rise with the Palamutes, and I love to see that. It's great to see Capcom bringing in the best things from previous games and adding them all together for this game. It just makes for a better experience overall. One could hope they do that with switch skills, but yeah, I kind of doubt that. Next scene, we see a grappling swing similar to WudWud, which is pretty useful. Perhaps they'll add new ways for it to be useful inside of combat as well. And we've got a new scene here where they show once again that you can throw large barrel bombs. We saw this back in Gamescom and it's super cool. I can't wait to try out. It's similar in Rise where you can throw small barrel bombs, but here now we finally can throw the large ones, making for an explosive way into battle. And holy crap, basically pulling down a rock slide. Now it looks really unrealistic, but still looks super cool and fun to pull off in game. Next we have a new set of creatures which seem to be native to the Scarlet Forest, Airlinian, which are also known as the WudWud tribe. You can see this on the website with a piece of information. A Linen tribe called the WudWuds inhabit the Scarlet Forest. Tucked away deep in the forest is the WudWud hideout where the creatures reside. Maybe we'll see different tribes in different parts of the game. It's not clear what type of interactions they'll have with us. Perhaps they will show us shortcuts in the forest, or even objectives to do to unlock new recipes or weapons and armor. I can't wait to find out. Next thing here, we have a funny scene where the Palicos are running away with some meat and a new monster is chasing after it. This new monster is called Quematrice, and it's a fire-based brute wyvern. His main habitat is the Windward Plains. It kind of reminds me of a reptile and also a roost at the same time. Anyway, it has some unique attacks, throwing out fire with its tail. This is awesome. Going onto the website, you can see this about this guy, brute wyverns with disproportionately long tail. They spread flammable substance, then enlighten it by dragging their tails across the ground. They can also be seen fighting with other small carnivorous or carrion. It's a very interesting monster and I can't wait to hunt this one. We also have this post from Twitter, which will be in the description of this video. And next we move on to a monster that we haven't seen before, with purple-like energy running through its body. It reminds me of Electron weapons. And this is when Nata wakes up with his PTSD and realizes the White Wrath wasn't a dream. We'll hear a dramatic and beautiful OST in the background, and I'm guessing it's this monster's theme, and god damn it's amazing. In a short cutscene, we go to a shore where Nata is laying on the ground. We get a closer look at the supposedly Lance Hunter from Monster Hunter 4U. And on the website we get more information about this guy. His name is Fabius, and the description reads, as a leader of the Hunters Guild, he established the Forbidden Lands Research Commission after discovering Nata, and took charge of forming each expedition unit. A former hunter distinguished among the guild. The name Fabius is also the name of Hercules' son, so Lance may rise up. We're strong as gods out here, come on! Going back, we see the White Wraith in Raidan's nest, and they're squaring up to fight. It's noted by one of the characters that it's an extinct species of monster, and in a clearer view we can see that it's a flying wyvern. Disappointing for me as I really wanted a snake wyvern, but I'll take it. It uses its arms and even tail, which also seems to be very flexible, to strike and defend itself from Raidal. Looking on the website, we can get its official name, Arkveld. It seems to have a Dutch or Belgian origin. I got this from my research looking online on the website names.look.com, and we have this piece of information, a monster known among the commission as the White Wraith, described as having a unique chain-like appendage extending from its wings. A species long thought to be extinct, its ecology remains shrouded in mystery. Another mysterious monster. I wonder where we could have seen that before. Then in the video, we get this line here.
Use that weapon and you do nothing.
I'm curious who they're talking about. Who's pushing out on a quest like that? So after finishing editing this video, I saw a line that is probably Nata talking to us. Like this? Nata, you bitch ass 10-pound haircut. Kid probably thinks the bull drum. I'm gonna send Basil to your locale so you can just blow up your village again. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Anyway, we get another scene with Uth Duna and another clash scene, this time with a lance. Let's go! In the background, we can see a short shield user, what looks like to be Balahavas, and on the other side, a dual blades user, possibly, and a hammer user who's just standing there. And the dual blades seem to be Lala Brunas. And then we got a hunting horn user against Raidal. And it seems like the wind-up move for the hunting horn has some iframes or armor possibly, because they both clash and it doesn't seem like anything happens to the hunting horn user. We then get some last scenes of Arkveld, and once again, his little chain wing thing is doing the most. It's going to be interesting to see how he uses it in game. And like I was talking about at the start, the Capcom logo that's been updated all over the place, YouTube, X, Instagram and even Facebook, you can see it's Arkveld and his whip chain like thingy. And yeah, it's pretty damn cool. And then finally we get to the release date of February 28th, 2025. Only 5 months away, meaning we should be getting a demo anytime soon. I'm thinking possibly in the next month or so. And hope you guys give me my flowers, because I was saying that it's going to come out before the financial year, and specifically February. So yeah, it's good to know that it's coming out soon. We also got some last promo stuff, but yeah, we can ignore that. So what does this mean for TGS? Well, I think we'll do another video on TGS and the demo and what Capcom plans to show for that show. That'll be my next video, probably coming out later on today, so stay tuned for that. Let's finish off this video with some other pieces of information. Next, the specs and what to expect. On the PS Store, we don't really see much here on performance, or even any images, which is a bit strange. But on the Xbox Store, we have a lot more to look at. We have some interesting in-game images, and also low down on the list you see capabilities. Here stating 4K Ultra HD being one of them, so perhaps there'll be a 4K version for consoles, at possibly 30 FPS, but we have to wait and see on that. And then I'm hoping a 1440p 60 FPS version for consoles. Later on, going to PC specs, we can see two lists of specs here, starting with minimum of 1080p 30 FPS. For processors, we got the i5 10600 or the i3 12100F, then the Ryzen 5 3600. All of those CPUs came out around 2018 to 2019, so basically the rig overall is going to be about 4 or 5 years old to play this game at the minimum recommendations. 16GB of RAM, the graphics card 1660 Super, and the RX 6900 XT. Lastly, 140GB of SSD. God damn. That's quite a lot. Actually, that's quite a lot. I'm actually going to have to put up some space in my PC. So the fact that's actually needing SSD here and not saying HDD for minimum, this game really cares about fast loading. And if you're going to play this on a HDD, you're going to have so much popping because there's so much in the water going on, and they need to get the assets as fast as possible and get whatever they need from the drives whenever required. So it makes perfect sense why they're doing SSD. SSD is a faster way of accessing memory, writing and reading from memory. So it makes perfect sense why it's SSD over HDD. And as you can even see in the notes below, it says SSD required, so it's actually required. This game expects a 1080p upscaled from 720 native resolution, 30 FPS under the lowest graphic settings. Wow, okay, that's very interesting to notice. Let's see what happens when we go to recommended specs. Okay, in recommended specs, we have 1080p FHD, okay, 60 frames per second, but with frame generation enabled. So this is artificial intelligence to help you get some extra frames, but at the same time of increasing frames. Apparently you can also have problems with input lag and stuff like that, so we're gonna have to look at that one. Maybe this means only for rigs that aren't top range and just more of the required mid-range. Like, as you can see lower down in the notes, it actually talks about this being for the mid graphic settings. So maybe for the high graphic settings, 60 FPS is no problem. The i5 11600K, and then also the 5 3600X. So these processors are actually more new around 2021 and 2020, but still not top of the range for when they came out. It's still kind of mid-range PCs. This is still 16GB of RAM, and then graphics, the 27 Super or the 4060. Once again, graphics cards from that era, so still around mid-range. Going back down to the notes, you can see here it says the game's expected to run at 1080p 60 FPS, but with frame generation enabled on the medium graphic settings. So what does this mean? Like I was saying before, I was alluding to, if you have a high enough rig, you're probably going to have 1440p, maybe even 4K. That one I'm not too sure about, the 4K, but 1440p at 60 FPS without frame generation is something that I can see as quite feasible. Now when it comes to my rig, I got an i9 13700FK CPU and graphics card. I got an XTX 7900. So this was pretty much top of the range back in 2020 is when I got put my PC together. So I'm expecting to get at least 1440p 60 FPS, maybe 4K, but maybe not at 60, probably at 30. But yeah, I'll do some tests when the game comes out, and I'll let you guys know how it runs, and you can see it for yourself when you're watching me on stream, or you're playing with me on stream, or just throughout the videos. And that's it on specs. But some last information here, let's go. Lastly, you can see here we got a steelbook with Arkveld on the cover, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, that's kind of it. So well guys, what do you think about this roundup of information? Did you find it useful? Did you enjoy this video? If you did, support me down below, like, comment, watch other videos on the channel. Let me know what you think of the content of this content. We'll be live streaming tomorrow for the event, TGS event. So I hope to see you guys there. It's gonna be fun. We got other streams. We got Iceborne on the weekend. We got Sunbreak Sundays as well on Sunday, obviously. And yeah, become a member if you want to support your boy. Do whatever. I'm here grinding for you guys, and because I like to do it because it's fun. So yeah, other videos coming out. Like I said, later on we're probably gonna do another video about TGS and what to expect to see tomorrow. And then also the status video, which I'm not sure when to come out of that video because there's so much information going on right now. Yeah, it's just too much. It is just too much. But guys, I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.